What's up guys, brand new update on SpongeBob Tower Defense. We have a brand new event going on right now. And later on in this video, I will show you how to beat the new raid mode, the Middle Ages. Also, there's a new code that I will show at the end of the video. It just gives you some shards, so it's not bad. But it expires fast, so if you're watching this later, it may be expired. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go through the update. Log in the event log really quick and let's see what happened in this new update. Also, if you have any secret units and you notice their stats and price change, that's because all of the secrets got buffed. Some of them get a slight buff last update, but they got even more of this. That's why they're more expensive, so make sure you planned that in when you were trying this new raid. Alright, here's the new event log, Dunces and Dragons. Kind of similar to the Bubble Bowl event that happened a few months ago, where there's a brand new raid you have to be in. You collect shards, or I guess they're called scales, to open new crates to get the new units. This time there's actually a new secret. Alright, here's all the new units. We have a rare to epics to legendary to mythic, and then a secret at this time. Dungeon Master looks like Mr. Potato Head. Guy Loki looks like Grimace. Sorry for the roast, Dungeon Master, but you're shaped like a potato. Not my fault. Here's how you buy them. Click on the shop button and then you can get a dragon capsule for 250 shards. We'll take a look at how to get the shards in a second. Basically, you just have to beat the raids. We have to go check to see how much the raids will give you each match. These units look pretty cool. I hope they're pretty good. Once we get all of them, we'll test them out later and see if they're worth equipping in your inventory. Dungeon Master's portrait makes me laugh every time I see it. They also added some new stuff to the raid shop. New mounts which look pretty sick, and also a new unit. I need some more spatulas to get the shiny Wumbo version. Poor Captain Magma has been power crept like crazy. He used to be so good. Oh well, sorry buddy. I hope King Krabs is good. These spatulas are not easy to get. I probably won't get the shiny Wumbo version for a while. I have 15,000 spatulas and I haven't spent any ever. Maybe I'll just trade for King Krabs. Okay, let's look at the update log now. The first thing is just mentioning the event that we just talked about. The event goes until the 19th. After the 19th, all the units will disappear, including the new secret, which is new because all the other secrets are still in the game. I haven't seen his stat yet, but we'll see how good he is. I'm hoping he's solid. Maybe he doesn't need to be the best secret, but it would be nice if he was above Sea Bear and Cyborg at least. Also below the event is just showing the new units, and we reviewed almost all of them except there is a new epic unit that you can get in the raids. It is a random chance, similar to how Captain Magma is a random chance inside the other raids and how Sea Rhino is a random chance if you have a unit with Sea Bear on it. It's an epic unit, so I imagine it's not that good, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be like a Patty Obsessed Squidward who's pretty solid. Patty Obsessed is actually in my inventory today. We'll use them for the new raid. He may not be the best option anymore, but he's still really good. There's also new mounts. 2 of them you could buy inside of the raid shop now, and the other one is a Roblox mount that looks like supports. Thanks for gaming campaign. I'll have to take a look and see what that is. You can also have parties now, which is nice. There's also a currency boost when you're in a party, which is nice. Gives you incentive to play the game with other people. New shop offers, which is some game passes which I probably won't buy. I say to times food game pass in another game pass, but I don't really care too much about food honestly. I mentioned the secret unit buff, so take a look at your units now to make sure you know what their stats are. Pretty decent buff all around. That's pretty much the most important stuff in the update. Let's go take a look at the new raid now. Here we go. You don't have at least one secret unit, you may have trouble beating Nightmare mode. You also probably need at least 1 or 2 good mythics to beat this mode. I will try Nightmare mode first to see if you could beat it because the rewards are a little bit better, but if not, you can go down to hard mode. The units I would bring in are a good IOE unit. If you have a secret like Hasher Dennis or Sponge Hinge, then that would be ideal, of course. If not, a unit like Quickster SpongeBob or Lord Poltergeist wouldn't be a bad choice. They're also going to need a farm unit. I also recommend a slowing unit. So if you don't have a dream, Gary, I would bring in Handsome Squidward. He will help you out a lot. You also need a starter unit that is around 1250 to start. I brought in Mermaid Man just cause I have a shiny version, but any 1250 unit will do. Also a cheap good starter unit like Patty Obsessed Squidward will help. After this video, I'll show you some units that I recommend replacing. This video I'll show you placement of the units and the general idea of how you want to beat this mode. You want to start by making sure you place all your units in the back here. Do you want to place them in the back because later on in the game mode, you're going to have to move your units if you place them in the front. You'll see what I mean later on, so just make sure you place everything in the back here. There's going to be several paths where the fish come from. Basically, just make sure you don't place anything on the dark side of the map where the lava is. I'm only placed my farms here so I have room in the back. Once the second side opens up, there's going to be another area where units are coming out of. This is where it's helpful to have a unit with long range and preferably AoE. I'm gonna place my sponge henge, but you could place whatever unit that will reach both sides. I'm going to place it in the middle so we can reach the middle units and the units over here. If your unit can't reach both sides at first, place it closer towards the side where the new units are coming out of so you can take care of that side. You can also place one of your cheaper units over here as well. For example, I have Patty Obsessed Squidward, so you can place a Patty Obsessed over here to help out with these units. The third sign is now opened up, so you want to do the same thing as I said for the other side and place a unit in the middle so we can reach both sides if possible. If I can't reach both sides at first, make sure to place it towards the side that is summoning the new units. I have Alaskan Bullworm, so I can place him in the middle and he has pretty solid range. But you could use whatever replacement that you have here. Any strong unit will work. You're going to want to help out the side anyway with one of your cheaper units later. I probably should have put Dream Gary on the other side because I think the size is a little bit stronger. But if you have Handsome Squidward, I would place one on both sides to slow the units down. Once you have all three sides covered, you can continue farming. The farms will help a lot with upgrading your units, especially if you have secrets because they cost even more to upgrade now. I would take it slow, especially if this is your first or second time doing this raid, to make sure you have it under control. This is my first time meeting it, so I'm taking it a little bit slow to make sure I don't lose. At this point, I would just make sure you have units covering all three corners. Make sure you reinforce your weaker side if you have one. For example, if you have a secret on one side, make sure to add some reinforcements on the other side that doesn't have a secret. So this is why I said don't place units up front. Eventually, all of these bridges will burn in the unit, will start coming out closer to you. So don't waste your resources on putting them up front. This doesn't change anything at this point. You're still going to want to make sure you have your forms upgraded and keep upgrading all of your units. I like to have one unit that has Jellyfish Jam to boost my other closer units. I'm gonna skip ahead to the boss now because nothing really exciting happens right here. Just make sure you take it slow so you don't accidentally lose. Some of the small units can get by pretty fast, which is why I like having a slowing unit also. The only exciting thing that happens between here the boss is the other two bridges burn down and the units start coming a little bit closer. That doesn't affect us at all because we don't have any units up front anyway. Here's the boss, Jellyfish Dragon. We absolutely smoked this boss. I think the bosses are easier than the waves because they're pretty slow, so you have plenty of time to do damage. And we did it, guys. Good job. Let me show you some possible replacements for some of the units I have in my inventory. Also, here's the code. Pause screen if you need to. Okay, for starter units, just quite a bit of options. Granny Tentacles is a really solid option, and Sand Creature also isn't bad. Granny is probably your best bet and she's also not very hard to get. Instead of Dream Gary, I would bring a Handsome Squidward. He's a pretty common unit. I have a ton of him. He's a perfect slow unit for this map. Mythic, there's a lot of options. Like I said, the Quicker is a pretty good AoE unit, and so is Lord Poltergeist. This one may just be a personal preference, or whatever unit you have the highest stars. If you don't have a couple secrets like I do, you're going to want to bring in 2 or 3 mythics. My favorites would probably be Hibernation Sandy and Lord Poltergeist, but this one may be up to you. You want to make sure you have a good range mythic if possible. Now, if you have a secret, just bring whatever secret you have. You have a cyborg, definitely bring that in. Sea Bear I think is probably slightly better than the cyborg for this obviously. If you have a Hash, Dennis, or Sponge Hinge, those will take priority. I wouldn't bring in more than 3 secrets though, because you're gonna want a lower tier unit to help you out around the corners. and you also need a mythic to help you out at the beginning. I hope that helped you guys. Good luck in the new raid. Like and subscribe or else you'll look like Grimace just like the new secret.